Seems I just decided to jump right past my intro and jump on into this. I could play the intro. Maybe I'll play this. What's up, guys? Here, because I skipped the science of intro and jumped right into this. So here's my really cool Cam Girl for Science intro. Let's watch that for a second so I feel like I can start. Otherwise it's weird. I don't know. Hey. See, it's not a Scientist Mel show unless I mess up somehow. Hopefully this mic is working because it's been off. Let me see. Yep, it's working now. Because it's weird. I've gotten new cameras for different angles. So I've got like this one, so you guys can check out my screen there. And anytime I've added a new camera, it's changed it to a default of the microphone that's on that camera. And so, hey guys, hey Tony Designs. So let me say hi to everybody. What's up? We got Wayne, Terry, we got Michael. Michael, is it Roble? Is the W silent? We got Tony Designs. What's up? Hello, Ghostly Enigma. So we're in a pandemic, guys. It's exciting for all the wrong reasons. So exciting for the wrong reasons. That's still a thing, though. Which is your best side? I don't know. I do have another camera because I'm having to work remotely now. I've had to remove like an additional camera. I have a camera like right up over here. But the problem is now that I'm having to do remote stuff, I have to have a thing like what you see here. I've had to put together things like this for professors teaching. And so I also have got to be able to show them how to use that. So on like video conference software, I have to use this camera so they can talk to me, and then they can see the setup with my other camera. It's complicated, isn't it? The W is silent like in wrong. All right, the outside. Which side is better, the outside? Probably the outside. So how are you guys? I've been getting messages from different people. Also, look, check it out. STEMinist. It's my t-shirt. You can get this on ScientistMel.com. Also, I'm still giving away, see, it's right there, hashtag STEMinist. I'm still giving away this shirt, guys, to my top 3 viewers. That's still happening, and the contest ends the end of the month. McBoomer's Rejects. I haven't forgotten about you guys. Hey, Nether, how are you doing? So, I'm still giving away this t-shirt. I have one for me. See, this is my T-shirt. But you guys, you'll have in top 3 people who watch my show are gonna get one of these bad boys. You know, there you go. So if you don't, so what I'll do is you can contact. I'll have to announce them, and we'll have to figure out how to get get it to you, which isn't a big deal. We can sort that out. I got to figure out who the winners are at the end of the month. Goodness. So, yeah, so like the pee and pool. You are so funny, Tony Designs. So what are you guys doing? You guys surviving you guys are surviving the coronavirus pandemic. It's pretty scary for a lot of people. I've been spending a lot of time quelling all kinds of different panicky, feelings that people are having. People are getting really scared. And so spending some time quelling that, saying, hey, it's going to be all right, Hey, Doc Fearsome, how are you? So let's talk a bit about the virus. One of the things that's been a holdup is testing. And people are like, oh my gosh, we have so few cases. Well, we have few cases because of the fact that we haven't been testing as much as we should be. So there you go. It's likely that we have a lot higher amount of cases because we're not aggressively testing. We haven't had the tests. So there you go. Let's see. Nether's doing okay. Looks like Germany is going to get a mandatory curfew this week. Already been issued certification that will allow me to travel to and from the hospital I work at just in case. Wow. Tony went to the grocery store and got junk food. Larder was full, so I just ate corn dogs for breakfast. Oh, Kristen Frost, she's actually at work. Hang in there, Kristen. You got this. Hey, Keith, how you doing? Estimates now are there as many as 2 orders of magnitude more cases than reported due to failure to test. Yes, I would agree with that. And you guys, Doc Savage. I spent some time speaking with him a little bit. We're all going to get it probably. This was his jam. This was his bread and butter for a while. He used to work with different governments to try to prep for this. So essentially we're looking at everywhere. Oh God, we're looking at pretty much everywhere. You can carry it and not really have any symptoms that are highly noticeable. You can pass along to people. It's not just an elder disease, guys. It's not just an elder disease. It's affecting young people as well. Initially, you got to kind of think about this. Let's talk a little bit about history when it comes to certain diseases. Hi, Thomas. Hey, gonna go for it. How you doing? So let's see. So I get that we, the U.S., way behind in testing for many reasons, but that's the logic behind not testing folks, simply to not subject them to the treatment. Wouldn't you want to test, treat ASAP? Yes. Let's see. Well, the thing is, not all symptoms are, it's like flu-like symptoms. And once you get the flu, you could do like retrovirals, but they only work for a short window. And then you end up, stuck in the bed for a few, unless their fever is not manageable. If you reach a fever, I believe it's 105 and higher for an adult, you need to go to the emergency room. But anything that's less than that, if, there's not a whole lot they can do. The symptoms that are being treated in the hospital, according to reports and what I have seen, the ventilators, people are not able to breathe. That's the biggest issue. You guys, like, it's a zombie apocalypse. I'm trying to bring a little humor here with my mug. It's probably, dark humor. maybe giving that a go. So let's see. So as far as Thomas's question here, if even a negative test is still data, even if you come out negative for a thing, that's still information that can be used. It would be better to aggressively test so we have that information, so we can find trends and patterns in particular populations and things like that. Even a negative result is still a result, and you can learn from that. And that's one of the things that I kind of like to stand up on a soapbox and say, guys, we need to publish negative results, particularly in the science community. I don't understand why we're not publishing more negative results. And it's because people want positive results, and that's progress. But your negative results, what if somebody else is doing the same thing you've been doing? And if you published your negative results, they wouldn't waste their time and resources on it. You know what I mean? But a negative test is still information. But as far as resources, all you could really do is treat symptoms of the virus. They're trying to find, I know there's some immunotherapies that they're looking into, trying to get antibodies from people who recovered from the coronavirus and see if they can transplant that into other people using those antibodies to kind of help fight the disease. So that's the thing that's happening right now. You must self-treat unless you get so bad you need hospitalization. That's right, Tony. It is mostly deadly for the elderly. It's still not about the ones dying. It's about the rate of infection. Exactly. It is about the rate of infection. And one of the things that was particularly upsetting for me in Florida, guys, Florida man, Florida women. It seems like that, we've got Florida man / woman is doing a thing. What are they doing now? They were partying on the beaches, being a hotbed for COVID-19. These individuals can still pass it along. They may not suffer, so horribly, but it's bad enough to where in the U.S. we have schools that are closed. We have colleges that are moving strictly to online. And it's not going to get better anytime soon, guys. I think what my understanding is we can expect about 200 million people globally are going to die, likely from this. But you also have to think, it's not just, when we say flatten the curve, we're talking about not only just people who are suffering from the illness, but also your standard run-of-the-mill type of other things that are causing people to go to the hospital. Car accidents, strokes, heart attacks. You have all of these other myriad of medical problems that require the hospital's resources. And so if we're already running out of ventilators because of COVID-19, that means there's also less resources for everything else. So you have less resources for car accidents, shootings, stabbings, your hospitals to effectively treat everything, not just COVID-19. So this is a real problem, and it's getting worse. But fortunately, people in Florida, the local officials, and this is something I found it just happened, I believe, yesterday. The local officials are closing the beaches now because the governor wouldn't do it. So the local officials for different beaches in Florida are finally closing them. I guess because spring break is over now. It's like the whole Jaws thing, We'll take care of it after the 4th of July. Kind of feels like the Jaws mayor. You know what I mean? Y'all remember the Jaws mayor? Nobody wants to be the Jaws mayor, but we've got the Jaws governor now, right? A little bit. Don't get political on here often, but the governor is now the Jaws mayor. Yes. And if you haven't watched Jaws and you want to see how panic ensues and all kinds of craziness happens with a naturally occurring thing like a shark, apply that to COVID-19 and you've got the same kind of thing. A bunch of warning people, officials, hey, this is a thing that's going to happen, and then they go ignored. That's pretty much every disaster movie too, honestly, if we're going to talk about it. Let's see. Catching up on the chat. You're welcome, Thomas. Tony, me too. It pisses me off that they are carrying it to people who would really be sick if they got it. Exactly. Hey, it's fine if I get COVID-19, but you might pass it on to your granny and she will die because she's got a weakened immune system and, possibly has other medical conditions. So you're going to be responsible for killing your grandma. You want that on you? You want to be that person? Can you imagine? Like the grandparents of the people that were in that video where they're like, it's fine, it's fine. All of them looked kind of like they were a little bit ill too. Man, golly. Looking at the figures from New Orleans, check out the number of people who were at Mardi Gras just 2 weeks ago. Realize a lot of them were tourists. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We have a plan, it's just not being implemented because governments fear the impact and citizens don't understand how to follow basic protocols and why. See? Yes. This is why science communicators are really, really important. You assume that they care. Well, that's true. I make this assumption that people have the same level of empathy as me, and that's probably one of my greatest faults, if I'm honest. I assume that people, and that, but kind of that's a problem that a lot of people have. They make the assumption that other people are similar to them in most regards, and that's something that I have been a failure on in the past, and that's something that I work on. So I try not to place my expectations of myself on other people because, honestly, I'm pretty critical of myself. So I try not to do that anyway. But yeah, people have inherently tunnel vision. That's why I love traveling, because you get to meet different people from different cultures and different perspectives. I mean, travel is lethal to ignorance in many ways if you're willing to listen. And honestly, listening to other people is lethal. But yeah, I'm making the assumption that they don't want their grandparents to die. But I learned so much on the internet about the lack of humanity in humans all the time. But here we are. We are in a pandemic, guys. And so what does this mean? What's going on? Let's take a look at the current numbers. How about we do that? Let's talk about the bad news before we hop over to the good news. Let's talk about that. So let me pull this up. Also, really, really quickly, before I do much more, if you're curious and if you're like, I'm worried about whether or not I've got COVID-19, here is a really, 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 really cool thing you can check out. Coronavirus self-checker. So it's not a diagnostic tool. It's not a diagnostic tool, but it can help you determine, should I go to the doctor about this? Should I go to the emergency room about this? What is my likelihood of being a carrier kind of thing? So you can do this little coronavirus self-checker on the CDC. And it pops up. And this is pretty cool. And you can go through and you can go, okay, the purpose of the coronavirus self-checker is to help you make decisions about seeking appropriate medical care. So is it the allergies? Is it the flu? Is it a cold? Is it coronavirus? Should I go to the hospital or not? Should I just call my local doctor? Should I wait until tomorrow morning and call my doctor for an appointment? That sort of thing. You still need to go to the doctor if you're sick, but this helps you make choices on how serious is it? Can it wait? I go to one of those emergency spots? Just so you know, those little emergency healthcare spots that they have that aren't the emergency room, but they're like, they have them all over the U.S. If you're in another country, you probably don't have these, but now we have little emergency spots that are emergency medical centers that are completely separate from hospitals that treat not heart attack, stroke level emergencies, but I think I have the flu, I sprained my ankle kind of thing where you need medical attention, but you don't want to go to the ER. You go to one of these. It's a hotbed for COVID-19, guys. There are reports coming out that people who have coronavirus are going to those little spots. So try to avoid going to those spots unless it's emergency situation. Like, just go to the ER if you think you have COVID-19, because people use those spots mostly for like sprained ankles. A lot of people who are immigrants go there to try to get some health care and stuff. So it's becoming a hotbed. So be careful for that. So here's what we're going to do. So we're like, I agree. And then, all right. So you can go through and it asks you questions. Hi, I'm Clara. I'll guide you through the coronavirus self-checker. And so they don't replace the judgment of a healthcare professional. If it'll pop up. It might take a minute. It'd be like, hey, you already answered these questions. Maybe it remembers your ISP address. I'm not certain. Let's see. It might. Maybe it does. Okay, guys. So I already messed up my own thing. Oh, no. I agree. All right. Are you ill? Yes. Okay. I live in the United States. Okay. Going through. Where are you located? And then you can put in your location. Let's just pick something. I don't live in New York, but let's say New York. Let's say you are in one of the hot spots. Let's say you live in New York. I'm answering for myself. How about that? What is your age? Let's say we're 40 to 49. Let's say that. I am a woman. All right, and so it goes through step by step and kind of picks it through with you to where you can go through, are you experiencing any life-threatening symptoms? Is it any of these? Notice a lot of this, it's new seizures that won't stop, slurred speech. You can go through and kind of like pick in, let's say, let me just say severe and constant pain on the chat, and then we'll jump in through all of this. Let's see. All right. We got severe allergies. Yes, I actually have pretty bad allergies. Some people are having diarrhea, nausea, or notable decrease in appetite. Yeah, some people are having like in digestion related. That was the word. I was going to say indigestion, but that's not right. But it's digestive system related issues. But you can also get that with the flu. So let's take a look about what are we worried about? What do the symptoms kind of look like? I liked this particular graphic. And this comes to us from the University of Alabama, their med school. Is it flu, allergies, or a cold? Now, this doesn't replace going to the doctor, okay? If your allergies are severe and you end up with a sinus infection, go to your doctor and get a shot. They have sinus cocktail shots for that. You can still go to the doctor. But should you go to the emergency room? All right. The underlying thing between the two of these, if it's the flu, you're going to have a fever. If it's COVID-19, you're going to have a fever. If it's allergies, probably not going to do the fever thing unless it's a severe sinus infection. So that's kind of rare. Fevers with colds are pretty freaking rare. So, fever, if you don't have a fever, you're going to be okay. Okay, you're more than likely going to be okay. It's not going to be COVID-19 or the flu. There's a lot of similarities here. Are you experiencing shortness of breath? That's the next thing. Fever and shortness of breath. The two big indicators of COVID-19. The other stuff, and you're going to have lots of flu-like symptoms associated with COVID-19, but the underlying factors, fever and shortness of breath. Here's another graphic for you. This is from atriumhealth.org. You can go through and have a look and go, okay. Fever and shortness of breath. And it's about 2 to 14 days, and we're not certain how long symptoms last right now. We're still determining that. The flu, you have symptoms after 1 to 4 days of exposure. The first 24 to 48 hours that you start to exhibit those symptoms, that's when you take your antivirals, and that kind of shortens the extent of your symptoms with the virus. A cold, after 1 to 3 days, you're going to have it maybe a couple weeks. It feels like forever, Allergies, not going to have a fever, but you're going to have symptoms similar to a cold. So it's kind of how you differentiate between these. But the numbers are getting pretty scary. Yes. So let's see. Yucky tree sperms. Yes. Trees need to learn consent, don't they? They're trying to have sex with my nose. Trees and pollen and all that stuff. That's not nice, trees. Not everybody's wanting to hook up with you, particularly not my nose. Trees are very rude. I'm just saying. Trees are very, very rude. Let's see. How long does an active sickness stay in one's system? Just got word we at work are not allowed to go into any rental houses that have had people staying in them in the past 7 days. Let's see. I'm glad I crack you up, Kristen. And that was Kristen's question. So let's answer Kristen's question. See, I wanted to put the two words together and say Christian. Question and Kristen. You put them together, you get Kristen. That's how my brain works sometimes. Anywho, so it seems like, okay, the thing I think, there are certain illnesses that are airborne that can stay around in the air for a few hours. Measles is one of them. For about 3 hours, it can stay in the air. It depends solely on the virus, its mode of transmission, what it can live on, and what it can live in. So COVID-19 is primarily, it's transmitted through droplets, okay? It's extremely unlikely that somebody who had COVID-19 would still have that stuff hanging in the air, breathing, can live on certain surfaces for, I think it's about 2 days. I'm pretty certain. There's new studies that are coming out about its half-life on certain surfaces, whether it's cardboard, metal, stuff like that. And it's going to have different lifespans. I would make a solid suggestion that from between 2 and 3 days, it's probably 3 is probably pushing it a bit. But the surfaces are the things that you're going to want to worry about. 7 days, so it's beyond a shadow of a doubt that nothing in that house is going to have the things, At that point, you're probably just dealing with bacteria, which most of those are easily treated through antibiotics. Antibiotics don't work on viruses, guys. I'm just going to throw that out there. But if you have a bacterial infection and you get the COVID virus, that's going to be pretty nasty. But that's when the antibiotics kick in, is to deal with the bacterial infection. So there you go. That's how that's working. Let's take a look at some of these numbers. So if you haven't checked out this website, oh goodness. All right, so let's take a look at this website. you can check out this worldometer, okay? And they list their sources of where they get their information. So far, there have been 286,952. Here, let me refresh. They might have updated. Okay. Did you see that? It's already gone up. And I actually pulled this up this morning. So that's pretty scary. So it's already popped up, and I pulled this up about an hour ago, if I'm honest. About an hour ago, I had this pulled up. So there. So 288,011 coronavirus cases. Those are the ones who've been tested. Okay, let's keep this in mind. These are the tested individuals. This doesn't include anybody who has not been to a doctor, who died in their house, or thought they had the flu and they're fine now. This doesn't include any of those people. This is just the individuals who have been tested for the virus. So out of this, we've got 11,949 deaths. So let me do a little quick math right here. From the known cases, 11,949 divided by 288,011. So that's about a 4% fatality rate. 4%. And you can do a little math right there. Math is helpful. So 4% of people who could track this are going to die. But if, you got to think that's current infection rates. The more we learn about this, the more we find out what the other mitigating factors are. We do see it killing young people who had pre-existing conditions they didn't even know that they had. They're getting it. And it's hard to know that. And a lot of times, healthcare professionals don't test certain individuals for certain pre-existing conditions that they wouldn't see in somebody so young, because usually they recover from them pretty quickly. So that's not something that's normally screened. So it's something to keep in mind. Yes, lots of COVID deaths are due to secondary bacterial infections. Yes, it's usually because they've got another type of, it's like, what is pneumonia? I think pneumonia sets in, and that's the thing. Their body can't fight both of them, and that's what gets you. Let's see. If a person is infectious for 2 weeks before getting symptoms, how long after symptoms are they infectious? That's a thing we don't know yet. We don't know that yet, Doc Fearsome. So I've got your chat right here in front of the window. Let me move that over here so you guys don't have to. I have a separate app to read your chat, and it pulls in all of them from all of the different things. It's just YouTube is heavily active right now. So there you go. There's still, yeah, you're right, Nether. There's still uncertainty on how long it lasts on different surfaces. But if you wash your hands, just wash your hands before you touch your orifices or before you eat, and wash them good. Wash them good. I can pull up a video. See, notice I rub my nose even on my sweater. I try not to touch my face. It's hard to not touch your face, So there you go. Let's see. So this breaks it down with deaths, either on the linear or logarithmic scale, so you can kind of switch between whatever graph you like. It's up to you. It goes through and it updates. Here's where the U.S. is. We're right here now. We're at 19,969. Look, so we've had 586 new cases today. Look at how many cases popped up yesterday, 5,594. Now, people are like, oh my gosh, it's spreading rapidly. That's not what this graph, this table tells us. Let me blow this up a bit so you can see it a bit better. That's not what this table is telling us. This is just how many they were able to test. Okay, because we're finally getting tests in. And because we're finally getting tests in, we can now handle this. We can now report more correctly. So we start out with 586. We've now gone to, we start out with 5,594 yesterday. But the more people test, the more that's going to change. So there you go. And testing is reserved for people who are exposed to others who have been tested positive and, may or may not exhibit symptoms. So kind of keep that in mind when you're going through. Here's the U.S. right now. Let me update this. Okay. 19,823. Hope jumped up a bit. And that's where we're at. 147 have recovered so far. So a lot of these are still just active cases. And this, again, has to deal with accessibility to testing, access to testing. So kind of keep that in mind when you're going through and reading this. So we've got a new death in Tennessee, 2 in South Carolina, 10 in New York. There's 8 book, and they list their sources where they're getting this information. Now see, now we're reaching to 20,000. This is why we're staying home, so we can kind of, people are going to get sick. We've just got to all assume that we have it. Okay, assume that you have it as far as like carrying it, whether or not you exhibit symptoms. That's why we're trying to flatten this to where we don't overwhelm our healthcare system. So yeah, the World Health Order, you can go through. They have a really nice graphic about it. There's multiple coronaviruses. There isn't just the one. So you can kind of check that out. How can you protect yourself? Cover your mouth or nose with a tissue, sleeve, cough like Batman, pull the cape around, whatever. Wash your hands regularly. There's lots of really good videos out there about, because somebody did a video with paint on their hands to show this is how you wash your hands, and they tried to show all the areas that you cover when you wash your hands to kind of like, this is why we wash them a certain way. So you hit all of those areas you wouldn't normally hit. There's no specific treatments, but they treat the symptoms. That's the thing. If your symptoms are manageable and not life-threatening, stay home. Just stay home. Call your doctor, but, absolutely call your doctor for medical advice. So these are the different things they're pretty important for us to kind of keep in mind. We did a video on coronavirus on Jackson Wheat's channel. Did you watch it? I haven't watched it, Nestleg. I'll have to go and check it out. So yes, I'm trying to catch up on all the chat here. Okay, let's see. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay, so it tells us how rapidly it was spreading 2 weeks ago too. Yes. Do it like Bela Lugosi and Dracula. That's right, you can cough like Bela Lugosi. Nether also says, also something not deadly but concerning is that COVID-19 comes with a higher rate of lung fibrosis than the flu. Yes. Leaving even those who had mild cases with small lifelong reduction in lung capacity. Yes. So it does have permanent after effects with your lungs. It's possible, yeah. So if at all possible, stay home if you can. I understand that there are certain individuals with high demand jobs, our grocery store people, our retail folks, our nurses, our doctors, our logistics individuals. I'm fortunate to where I am able to work from home. So that's what I will be doing. I don't leave my house unless I have to. And so, we'll have to check it out. Oh, thank you, Nether, for sharing Jackson's video. Jackson's lovely. And as a shout out for Jackson and RJ, I actually produce Evolution Hour over on RJ's channel. Sorry, I got an itch, but I've been washing my hands. I have been producing Evolution Hour over on RJ and Jackson's channel on Wednesdays. They have a new book out called The Rocks Were There. to where they talk about all of the different arguments for evolution, and what they go through. So do check that out. Wednesdays, I believe it's at 9 Central. 9 Central, you can find me running their show. And so I can do cool stuff for them. So that's kind of part of what I do with a lot of my outreach, is helping smaller science channels have, like high quality looking stuff. So here's one of the screens that we have. So that's like, there you go. So that's a little plug for Evolution Hour. So do check them out. It's like there. Kristen, I just got an email about staying away from my work, about how we should stay out of work environments. The study they link says the following COVID virus can stay viable on hard surfaces, like plastics for 72 hours and on cardboard for up to 24. Yeah. Nether, I can't work from home. If things get bad enough, I'll even get drafted into working in the hospital wards. Wow. Yeah, I know, Nether. You have a high demanding job, so you can't just stay at home, All right. So let's talk about some better news. Let's talk about some better news. So for those of us who are at home, if you are finding yourself like, okay, I got all my work done, but I'm still really bored, what I'm going to do? But only 4 hours on copper. Well, hey, that's cool, Kristen. Let's see. So what can you do? So fortunately, having been a public school teacher for about 5 years, I wasn't in there for the long haul. I've returned to academia, so I'm working more on the collegiate level now. But having been a public school teacher for a while, working with limited resources, let's have a look at some things that you can do. If you are stuck at home, whether you have kids or not, or whatever, if you need to do something, there's lots of different things that you can do. I like this website, phet.colorado.edu. If you just want to play around and learn a little bit of science, if you want to share this with your kids, if you have kids, or if you're an educator and you need stuff, check this site out. You can click on new simulations. You can set up an account for free. They have all kinds of different simulations: gravity force labs, waves, gas properties, diffusion, and they divide it all up according to discipline. Motion, sound and waves, heat and thermo. So if you're into thermodynamics, here you go. Friction's a thing. But the thing that I like about this particular, if you want to learn about the greenhouse effect, let's click on that. For teachers, they'll even have, okay, this is what's cool. So this is for people who are like, okay, so I like these simulations. What the heck do I do with them? Well, they got lesson plans for you. They've got already set up interactive things. If you sign up for a free account, they've already done these for you. You can click on and it'll let you know high school or middle school. They even have undergraduate level stuff here. And if you are like a professor and you want to upscale it, take something like this and you can upscale it. So here's an activity PDF. And this goes through and it tells you, okay, discover some causes and effects of that. So this actually goes through, and this is an interactive thing, and these are the things that you manipulate within the simulation. So what claims can you make about the relationship between amount of snowfall and the movement of thickness of glaciers? The greenhouse effect. Open up the PHET and it tells you where. You can click on that. Discuss ideas with your partner. So if you got multiple kids, you got online thing, have them talk to each other online. But I like this. And here, this is an interactive keep. So you can pull this up. You can pull this up, and it's pretty cool. You can kind of represent the greenhouse effect. Here's our infrared photons. Here's our glass layers. So this is kind of like what happens the more we thicken our atmosphere with layers of greenhouse gases, the more like you're adding extra glass layers to it. Here's all of the photons versus just the infrared ones. So this is what's causing our temperature to rise. You can even play around with different molecules. CO2, we know that's a greenhouse gas. We hear it all the time. We're going to hit this. See, we're hitting it. Now let's hit it with a lot of photons. It's vibrating this molecule and it's bouncing it back to our Earth. So these things are particularly useful. Even if so, I like this website because it does give you a bit of a perspective. So let's build an atmosphere. Let's add some of these. I'm going to add like maybe 3 of these molecules. I want to add let's add 10 carbon dioxide. Let's add a little bit of water. Let's add about 5 water molecules. This is not an accurate atmosphere, but this is fun to say. What happens if we increase the amount of greenhouse gases? And let's see, O2, O2. Let's see, we got a lot of atmosphere. All right, there we go. All right, so let's blast it with all the photons. Notice it passes, I'm sorry, you can't see it. Notice it passes right through the O2 because O2 is not a greenhouse gas. But water is, methane is. So it's just kind of, but see, this is just one of those things that make this website pretty cool. They've got biology. They've got all kinds of different things that you can play around with. So that's one option. Eating and exercise. There we go. This is something I probably need to do. Simulation, I feel personally attacked. But that's one option. Let me catch up on the chat. Let's see, how we doing? Okay. Yes, Lether's a lab tech, not suited for giving medical care. But yeah, help cleaning up and stuff. That's fair. Let's see. Wow, you're part of a cleaning crew. Yeah, so Kristen. I want to call you Kirsten, and that's not right either. Okay, so what are the other things that we can do? So I've kind of shown you a bit on the different simulations, even if you want math. If you're trying to brush up on your math, there's math stuff here as well. Fraction, matchers, try to catch up, projectile motion, vector addition. So even a little bit of physicsy stuff here. You want to try to do that. And again, they all come with, if you click on Calculus Grapher, most of these, unless they're brand new, come with all of these different activities that you can kind of go with. Undergrad, intro, early undergrad type of stuff. So high school, they have them in different languages. So it's pretty cool. Another thing you can do, Smithsonian Mag, they have lots of different articles, and they're pretty easy to read. So if you need something to read and you're like, well, I kind of want to read about the new stuff, blah, 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 whatever, you can click on any of those topics, even arts and culture, okay? Even arts and culture. So you have so much information here, and these are really good dynamic type of articles. And what I like to do would go through and read if you want to kind of process it. If you have kids at home, or maybe you want to learn something yourself, you can go and just type in graphic organizer template and Google that. And then you can pull up various ways to break down those articles. So that's stuff you can do. So you can take, like, let's see, what is this? Main idea. What the topic is, the main idea, and then individual details, story elements. If it's a fictional story, if it's nonfiction. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways that you can express this. Um, Even as a academic level, as far as collegiate educator, I tell professors and I tell other students, I'm like, these are amazing when you're trying to learn something more complex, like, not the link. Let me open the image. Like, for instance, with this, if you're doing atomic theory, or some main concept, you start with your main concept here, and then you break them down into the individual components of that main concept, and then you get more specific. You can do that with articles. You can do that with concepts that you're trying to absorb. You can even do this with various math type of things, how to solve a math problem. This is a great way to organize your thoughts, particularly if you're a college student. Go back through your notes and take the concepts and map them out and kind of see, and then kind of link them all together. So that's one thing you can do. But this works great with even articles. The main idea, break them down into parts, and then get more specific about each one of those parts. So that's something you can do. It's pretty great. I'm a fan of that. And also distance learning through Smithsonian. They have online resources that you can kind of engage in and have fun with. So do check out Smithsonian Distance Learning. They have, you just click on start here. That's on the information. Sorry. Let's go here. I don't need the COVID-19 stuff. We've already covered all that. But you can use the distance learning, how to use the learning lab. You can create a collection, all of that, resources, digital images. So it's a really great thing to kind of check out if you're trying to find something to do. If you're like, that's not my jam, Mel, that's not my jam. I'm like, all right, you know what? I got you. We're gonna do this. You can check out edx.org. 2,500 plus courses from about 140 institutions. If you're like, I want to learn something during my time here, all kinds of different organizations all around the world. Georgetown, Australian National University, Sorbonne University, Curtin University, Stanford Online, Berkeley, Harvard, MIT. They all have, they all have different, they have links to all of the different free online courseware right there. Become an entrepreneur, qualitative research methods, cellular solids, part 2, applications in medicine. If you want to learn a little biotech and business behind that, a little bit of molecular biology, there's videos here, and they span across multiple disciplines. So, like, hey, I'm a teacher and I'm stuck at home. Let me learn about how to get more innovative in my school. Innovation in schools, launching that. Structures and materials. So there's all kinds of visiting Japan. There's lots of different stuff for you to just kind of check out. And it's all free. It's all free. And it's got the list when the course starts. You can check it out, get involved, enjoy. But it's all there for you. Just to check out. Now, if you're like, I'm more hands-on, I really like Science Bob. You can find a wealth of all kinds of different science experiments to do in your house. And these are probably more kid-based, but they might still be fun anyway. A soap-powered model boat. Density. This is really fun if you're an adult and you want to make a layered drink with alcoholic beverages, guys. Learn about density. Heavier density hits in the bottom, and then they'll separate out in layers. You can layer your drink. But yeah, there you go. You can do fancy drinks at home. Make your fancy drinks at home if you want. So that's something, those are other things that you can do. Um, and then Audible recently released, I think, 100 different titles for free. So maybe get an Audible subscription and listen to some stuff. Check it out. Let's see. Let me catch up on my chat here. Ah, my nose is itching. Now that I can't touch my face, my nose itches all the time. You know what I mean? Good space simulator apps for mobile. Anybody know any of those? Space simulator? You mean like outer space, or do you mean like home decoration? Because I'm not certain about that. Let me see. I'm checking out any other questions. Yeah, the hospitality business is suffering. Some of my favorite places are struggling right now, and I tend to stick to just visiting the smaller businesses in my town. So I don't really go to the major, huge chains when it comes to like hospitality, like the restaurants or cafes. I go to the smaller ones that aren't huge chains. That's the ones that I tend to be patrons to, because the bigger ones are going to be fine. The smaller ones. And a thing that you can do, guys, if you have the income, buy gift cards. Buy gift cards from these small businesses. You can buy gift cards. That's still always an option. Outer space. Okay, outer space apps. That PHET site, let's see. Let me look at NASA. NASA might have NASA space simulations. Let me see. Here we go. Maybe this one will work for you. Let's check this out. I've clicked on this. They have, NASA's really great with a lot of different things. Simulate future space. Let's see. Okay, I think that's just an article. Let's see. The solar, okay. Solar system simulator. This isn't quite, they got like heavy nerdy on this, guys. I want to view a 45 degrees. This is like super nerdy. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So you've got, okay, this is what the planet looks like. Let's see. Show me Phobos as seen from Jupiter. Let's do that. What's that look like? Okay. Yeah, that's not as exciting as I thought it would be. That's okay. NASA tries. NASA simulations. This is grade levels 4 through 6. Do they have? Where is it? Where's the website? NASA-based web simulators to follow. Where are these web simulators though, NASA? And they've got like the space shuttle processing facility. Where can you? The Wright brothers simulations in flight. Mars airplane simulation. Let's have a look at that. So maybe reliving the right way. Simulations. Man. Let's investigate how the elevator works by using a Java simulator. I probably need to. So you can download through here, at least with the Wright brothers. This site can't be reached. Reload. Well, that's no longer an active IP, I guess. But there you go. The Mars airplane. Exploration. Directorate. Let's see. Let's look there. So I don't know. I'm thinking that might be it. Let's see. Mars Today, all topics, space tech. Well, they've got related topics. I can't seem to find. There's downloads, apps. What apps you got? The NASA app. Huge collection of content, images, videos on demand. That sounds cool. NASA selfies. Oh my gosh. You can have a NASA selfie. How awesome is that? NASA selfies, guys. Augmented reality. Okay, so they've got spacecraft AR. They have virtual reality stuff. Okay, so this is nasa.gov/connect/apps.html. So this might be fun stuff to do. NASA 3DV. It's a 3DV mobile app, allows you to examine several of NASA's deep space exploration projects. Well, that's pretty cool. So maybe check that out, Kristen. They have it for Earth, Hubble sites. Wow. That's pretty groovy. So it's a little bit better than what I initially thought it was going to be. So maybe check that out. All right. Hey, Heretic. How are you? Dinah Cat is in the chat. So there's lots of different things you can do while you're in social distancing. Another thing, guys, I think I'm going to do this tonight. If you want to join me. Do check this out. I'm taking suggestions. Netflixparty.com works with your Chrome browser. I think what I'm going to do tonight, probably around 6 Central, is have a Netflix watch party. And I'll post the link. I think I'll post it in my Discord as well as on Twitter. And you can join in a chat and watch a movie with me. You have to have Netflix, though. I can't live stream me watching Netflix because I'll get a copyright strike. And we know that's not going to work. So if you have Netflix, I'm going to post a link to where you can join a watch party with me. I'm debating whether or not I want to have a voice chat along with that. I do have Zoom, so that might be something fun. So this is something you can do with your friends, with you. If you don't have Netflix watch party and you got a friend who can hop on a video call with you like this, y'all can watch the film together that way. So that's pretty cool. So if this is something you're interested in, check out my Discord, check out my Twitter. I'm going to pick a movie and you can on Netflix, you can click on it and we'll just MST3K it. Why not? Have a little bit of fun. Poke a little fun at it. So it should be, why not? Have a little laughs. It does add a group chat. It does add a group chat on there. Are there any online apps for world domination? I'm asking for my cats. There might be. Who knows? The cats might have their own little social media network, like Slack, but for cats, to where they're all talking about how they're going to get with everything. Sandbox 2 and the Kerbal Space Program. Sweet. Thank you, Ghostly Enigma. So there you go. So that's something that can be kind of fun and something to do. And don't forget, guys, top 3 viewers for Streamlabs points are going to get a t-shirt. We're going to be sorting that out soon. So yay. And it's really comfy. It's really nice material. I'm having some issues with updating my website with new merchandise, but you can still get stuff there. So if you haven't checked that out, scientistmel.com/shop. I got a little, I think I have a commercial for that. Yeah, here we go. So do check out my shop if and you like those such things. But yeah, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Oh my goodness. So, gosh, I think that's all that we've got. One more thing that you can do. I often go to this site to find out the latest in science news from National Science Foundation .gov, nsf.gov/news. All kinds of new information and new science research coming out, and they post it daily, so you can see what the latest news is on in the science world. All kinds of different studies here, and so all just lots of stuff, anywhere from pathology to geology to biology, climate science, flood prediction. It's just lots and lots of stuff. Earth's mantle, not its core, may have generated. See, I touched my face, guys. I touched my face. I'm doing this wrong. But, you know, I have been washing my hands. So I should be safe. And I haven't left my house. But still, this is all pretty interesting stuff that you can check out and have a go with, you know. So there you go. Well, that's all I've got for you guys. If you have any questions, you can go on my website, ScientistMel.com. Send me an email there. You can hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open. Be polite, guys. Be polite. That's all I ask. Just be polite. My DMs are open. And there you go. If you need suggestions, if you're a professor and you're moving online and you're having a difficult time, I got you. Hit me up. I can help you with that. I absolutely can help you with that. Taste of Science, that festival, the festival that we were supposed to have is being postponed. But the good news, guys, tasteofscience.org. Let me show you this website. We're moving to digital online. So please check out tasteofscience.org. You can volunteer. I'm actually working with them. It's currently on hold, but tomorrow I'm having a virtual meeting with the organizers from all of the different cities, and I'm teaching them how to live stream and what they can do and what they can use to bring science to you, since we're all in our houses. And so the festival will likely still continue, but it's going to be online. So please do check out if you're in any of these cities in the U.S. I am working with all of the organizers of these different cities to help them bring science to your house with their different speakers and their trivia and different events they were going to have, just modifying it to an online forum. So check it out. See what they've got available in your area. So tomorrow I'll be working with them, and I'll be consistently working with them to help them move their events to an online base. So even if I'm not streaming all the time, guys, I'm still doing stuff in science communication behind the scenes, helping bringing science to your houses. This is amazing. And this was one of the goals that I wanted anyway, to try to have a science communication convention. And these people are already doing that. So I've joined forces with them to help you guys get your science fix. I'm really stoked and super excited about it. So it's pretty awesome. Doing a lot of cool stuff. So with that said, all right. Well, thank you guys for being here. With that said, I'm going to sign off. Wash your hands. Avoid touching your face. If you can stay at home, that limits the rate of infection, which would cause our hospitals to go over capacity, and that costs lives, not only for people who are sick from COVID-19, but for everybody else who suffers heart attack, stroke, car accidents, crime-related injuries. All of those people are affected as well if the hospitals are overrun with COVID-19 infections for individuals who suffer already, who are suffering. So if you can, stay at home, buy only what you need, don't hoard, That's not cool. People who live paycheck to paycheck, they rely on stores being stocked when they're able to buy the things that they need. Think of others. Just think of others. Assume you have the virus and stay home if you can. All right. Awesome. So, read Mr. Rogers and then we'll sign off. I always got to read Mr. Rogers. He's awesome. I try really hard to be like him. It's really hard. Some days are not good days to be Mr. Rogers. You know what I mean? I don't know how he would exist right now. It's just, we really need more Mr. Rogers. All right. We are all neighbors. Let's read from that. How about that? All right, here we go. How about this one? The time you went to the White House. How about we go there? A few years ago, I was asked to be part of a White House meeting about children in television. Many broadcasters from all over the country were there. During my speech, I asked the audience to spend 1 minute thinking of someone who'd made a difference in the person they'd become. As I was leaving that enormous room, I heard something from one of the military guards who was all dressed up in white and gold, looking like a statue. I heard him whisper, "Thanks, Mr. Rogers." So I went over to him and noticed his eyes were moist, and he said, "Well, sir, as I listened to you today, I started to remember my grandfather's brother. I haven't thought about him in years." Excuse me. I was only 7 when he died, but just before that, he gave me his favorite fishing rod. I've just been thinking maybe that's why I like fishing so much and why I like to show the kids in my neighborhood all about it. Well, as far as I'm concerned, the major reason for my going to Washington that day was that military guard and nourishing the memory of his great uncle. What a marvelous mysteries we're privileged to be part of. Why would that young man be assigned to guard that particular room on that particular day? Slender threads like that weave this complex fabric of our life together. Think of other people, guys. Think of other people. And a small thing that you do can affect the lives of others. Stay home. You always make each day special for me. You know how? By just your being you. I will see you next time. Bye, guys. Have a great day.